Just because my last name is Maldini doesn't mean I was born to play football. I still have to run and practice and work out every day. When some guy comes charging into the box with the ball, who's going to stop him? My dad?
Sometimes, the first step toward a legend is a challenge. The stadium rises, not for a goal and not for a trophy, but for a man who became more than Milan's captain, because he became the way the club understood itself. There are footballers who become legends, and then there are the ones who become an era. And Paolo Maldini is an era shaped by dynasty, by the weight of a surname, and by the rare truth that a defender can be more beautiful to watch than any forward. In this video, I will show you why the best attackers in the world felt against him like they were not facing a man at all, but the rules of the game. Paolo Maldini's story began long before he was born. His father, Cesare Maldini, was already dominating on the pitch. He was such a commanding Milan captain that in 1963, he helped the club win their first European Cup. Cesare was known as an iron captain, probably because you did not mess with him and he did not let even a mosquito get past. Then on June 26, 1968, Paolo was born, inheriting not only a famous surname, but also an enormous weight of expectation. His childhood unfolded in the shadow of a superstar father. As Paolo later joked, it was both a blessing and a brutal challenge. I knew I'd have to work twice as hard to prove I wasn't here just because I'm the captain's son. While all his friends dreamed of scoring goals, Paolo must have heard enough of his dad's stories to decide that defending could be just as fun. At 10 years old, he was already in Milan's academy. Unlike his father, who was iron through the middle, Paolo chose to play on the flank. He moved like a dancer, graceful and perfectly balanced, and even though he was strong, he was never rough. It was not just football, it was elegance in its purest form, and that became his trademark. Debut at 16, the start of history. His professional debut came on January 20th, 1985, when he was only 16. On a cold, foggy day against Udinese, coach Nils Lidholm was forced to bring the young Maldini on as a substitute. Lidholm, famous for his eye for youth, saw in Maldini not just talent, but something more. Paolo came on at fullback, and despite his age, played with incredible confidence. After the match ended 1-1, Lidholm said, "He has everything to become great, but most importantly, he has heart. I saw in his eyes a calmness that only great players have." That debut was historic, not only for Maldini, but for the club as well, because he became the youngest player ever to appear for Milan in Serie A. From that moment, Maldini's career developed rapidly. He quickly secured a place in the starting 11. At first he played right back, before moving to his more natural left side. In 1987, Arrigo Sacchi arrived at Milan and changed both the club's tactics and world football forever. Under Sacchi, alongside legends like Franco Baresi, Alessandro Costacurta, and Mauro Tassati, Paolo became an essential part of what many call the greatest defensive four in football history. That backline operated like a single organism, using Sacchi's famous zonal system and offside trap, and giving opponents almost no chances. Maldini was the youngest of the four, but he was already an incredibly important piece because his speed and intuition allowed him to neutralize the most dangerous wingers. "We didn't play like four people," Maldini later recalled. "We played like one." And that was not an exaggeration. The Sacchi era, and then the Fabio Capello era, became a golden age for Milan, and the period when Paolo fully matured. He won his first European trophies, and his play on the left was the perfect balance of attack and defense. In the 1994 European Cup final against Barcelona's so-called Dream Team, Capello's Milan destroyed the opponent 4-0. In that match, Maldini dominated his side completely, with total safety in his zone. He had perfect timing in tackles. He never took reckless risks, and he always chose positions that allowed him to control the situation. His style could be described as error-free, and that is not a joke. That was Maldini's philosophy. If I have to throw myself at my opponent's feet and go into a sliding tackle, it means I already made a mistake somewhere. Ronaldo, one of the greatest players in history, once said he was the hardest defender I ever played against. He was always one step ahead, even when it seemed like I had the advantage. He was absolutely perfect. It is the best description of Maldini's style, not brute force, but intelligence, anticipation, and flawless technique. He was so good that even the legendary George Best said, "Maldini is a true aristocrat. His game is poetry." In 1997, after Franco Baresi retired, Paolo took the captain's armband. It was a natural transition. He became the standard bearer, the symbol of the club. If before he was part of a great system, now he was its leader, the man carrying the weight of responsibility and glory. He wasn't just a captain. He became a father figure for young players arriving at the club like Gennaro Gattuso and Andrea Pirlo. Captaincy brought new challenges. Milan struggled in the late 1990s, but Maldini remained unshakable. He was the link connecting Milan's great generations. His authority and loyalty inspired everyone around him. In 2001, Carlo Ancelotti arrived, and a new chapter began. Maldini, now over 30, moved to central defense, where his experience and wisdom shone even brighter. Alongside Alessandro Nesta, he formed one of the most reliable defensive partnerships in the world. He kept winning trophies, proving that age is just a number. The defining moments of that era were, of course, the Champions League finals. After an exhausting tactical final against Juventus at Old Trafford ended 0-0, the match went to penalties. Maldini wasn't one of the takers, but his leadership on the pitch was undeniable. Milan won, and Paolo lifted the trophy, just as his father had done 40 years earlier. It was an especially emotional moment because Cesare was watching from the stands. The victory symbolized the continuity and greatness of the Maldini dynasty. In 2005, Milan faced Liverpool in the Champions League final. The start was perfect. In the 52nd second, Paolo scored, becoming the oldest player to score in a Champions League final. By halftime, it was 3-0, and it felt like the trophy was already in Milan's hands. But in the second half, Liverpool produced an unbelievable comeback. 3 goals in 6 minutes, then extra time, and then victory on penalties. It was one of the most painful defeats of Maldini's career. And yet, even then, after the match, Maldini led the team to thank the fans, showing true class and greatness. 2 years later, in 2007, Milan reached the Champions League final again against Liverpool. It was a chance for revenge, and Milan took it. 2 goals from Filippo Inzaghi brought a 2-1 win. At almost 39, Paolo Maldini lifted the trophy once more, proving his loyalty and persistence had no limits. It was the perfect ending to his European club story. Despite unprecedented success at club level, Maldini's Italy career was filled with disappointment. He played in 4 World Cups and 3 European Championships, but never won a major international tournament. He came closest in 1994 in the United States, when Italy lost the final to Brazil on penalties. Maldini, who had played a brilliant tournament, was devastated. In 2000 at the Euros, Italy let victory slip away in the final, conceding to France in the final minutes. "I'm missing a win with the national team," he said, "but I have no regrets. I gave everything I could." He left the national team in 2002 and didn't go to the World Cup that Italy later won, which may have been the biggest regret for Italian fans. The last years weren't easy with injuries, age, and frustration, but Maldini continued to play at the highest level. On May 25, 2009, at age 40, he played his last home match at San Siro against Roma. In the stands, banners appeared reading "Grazie Paolo," meaning "Thank you, Paolo," and "Only one captain." It was an emotional moment that showed how much he meant to the fans. There were conflicts with a group of ultras who hung an insulting banner. Maldini responded, "I'm proud that I'm not like them. I'm someone who has always treated everyone with respect." That incident couldn't stain his greatness. Paolo Maldini played 902 matches for Milan, an all-time club record. His name became synonymous with Milan. His number 3 was retired forever, reserved only for his son if he ever plays for the club. Zinedine Zidane once said, "He was the best defender I ever played against. He was perfect." That line, like many others, captures exactly what Maldini was on the pitch. In the 2003 Champions League final, Paolo was named man of the match. After retiring, Maldini stayed away from football for a long time. He worked in other fields, but his heart always remained with Milan. In 2018, he returned to the club as Director of Strategic Development and later became Technical Director. In that role, he proved his leadership and football vision worked off the pitch too. Under his guidance, Milan returned to the Champions League and, most importantly, won the Scudetto after 11 years. His sudden dismissal in 2023 shocked many, but it didn't erase his achievements. Paolo Maldini is not just a footballer. He's a symbol of loyalty, professionalism, and longevity. He is the embodiment of elegance and strength. He proved you can be great, not only through goals and flashy tricks, but through defending, intelligence, and respect for your opponent. And his story will inspire many generations to come.